Hi there. Welcome to the Small Business Coffee Break, the video series where we take a few minutes to work on your business, not just in it. Today we ask Stephanie Fortune about what is a professional employer organization. Stephanie has over 8 years of experience as a PEO consultant and started her own firm, Fortune Business Consulting, in 2018. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. Thank you very much for being here. And one of the questions I know whenever I use the initials PEO, Professional Employer Organization, most of the time small businesses are lost. So what exactly is a PEO?
So you hit it on the head in actually knowing what the acronym stands for. So PEO stands for Professional Employer Organization. So ultimately what it is a relationship between an employer and a professional employer organization forming a co-employment relationship. So what that then turns into is the employer or company becomes the employer of the worksite employer. So they have direct control over their employees, when they start, when they stop, who to interview, who to hire, who to fire, so on and so forth. So they have very much so maintained control of things that go on within their organization. The PEO then becomes the employer of record. So for instance, tax purposes, they pay the tax on behalf of that worksite employer. And so when it's as things pertain to taxes, regulations, HR, so on and so forth, they're usually the ones that's overseeing that part of it. And so they're kind of the liaison, if you will, in helping and supporting that worksite employer operate the organization, provide expertise as it pertains to HR regulation, especially with the last year and a half that's gone on. There's been a lot of regulation changes. And so for employers, it's been extremely overwhelming. So they've been able to add that expertise. Of course, they help with payroll services. So again, paying your employees, time and attendance, again, taxes as it pertains to the employer side as well as employee side, so on and so forth. They're also able to support with workers' compensation, which again is the insurance that covers employees in the event that they're injured during the course of work. And then lastly, benefits. So employers also have access to kind of big business solutions as it pertains to benefits. Where they might not necessarily have the same access to plan design or cost structure out in the open market.
So, and just so, for someone who may not be familiar with the lingo, when you say worksite employer, you mean I'm the small business and I'm reaching out to a PEO, I am the worksite employer, right?
You are the worksite employer.
I'm the worksite employer. Yeah. And what that means is at the end of the day is I'm the one who's running my business, no different, right? Mm-hmm. And I have outsourced.
Yes.
The administration portion of employees over to another organization who technically becomes, I guess, the employer
of record. Yes.
Right.
That's correct.
Right. So even though it's my money, the check is going to come in from somebody else.
Yes. So when the employee looks at, let's say, their pay stub or direct deposit or something to that effect, they might see that PEO's name in their checking account or the pay stub, but the worksite employer, so again, the company, the small business, will still be the employer. And they're the ones that's likely going to be contacted for things that go on a day-to-day in the office. But if it ever needs to escalate again, the PEO would be the person or the point of contact for the employer. And so they'll be able to support.
Excellent. Let's keep the conversation going. If you have any questions you'd like to ask Stephanie, ask it in the comments, or her contact information is in the description. If you have any questions you'd like me to ask Stephanie or any other professional in their field, my contact information is also in the description, and I'm always available through a direct message. See you next week for another cup of coffee and more questions answered.